Okay, so first I'm going to talk about what's been most impactful in my internship. Um, First of all, my task instructor, who answered probably 100 questions from me a day, learning about good supervision and how to use it and the importance of it has been really impactful. My task instructor was great, and all of the DCP at Health Connect America were amazing. I could ask them any questions I had, and they did their best to answer them or pointed me in the right direction. Also, getting to try out a lot of different parts of Health Connect America, getting to sit in with the outpatient therapist a little bit, getting to co-facilitate a group, getting to hold my own cases, getting to shadow people, shadowing a couple of assessments. It was really good. The most impactful part of that was getting to co-facilitate the group because I've never done that before. And I honestly didn't think I was going to enjoy the group, which I talked about in one of my previous vlogs. But it ended up being one of my favorite parts of my internship. Also, before my internship, I had never had a caseload before. I went straight from my BSW to my MSW. So getting to experience that, see what case management's like a little bit, was also really impactful and a really big learning opportunity. So now we're going to talk about how I've grown as an advanced practitioner. So I would say I've grown tremendously through my internship. Like I said earlier, I'd never had a caseload before this, so I got to learn a lot about that, a lot about HIPAA laws, required paperwork, different interventions, and how to coordinate with schools. So one of the big things at Health Connect is that we see the kids 3 times a week, and 2 of those can be, 2 or more really, can be in the school setting. So learning how to communicate and coordinate with the schools and how to be in IEP meetings and how to get attendance records and IEP records and all of that other stuff has been really good. Learning to build relationships, professional relationships with the schools, and finding the right people and knowing who to ask and things like that has been really good. With the knowing different interventions, we did a thing called treatment team every Wednesday where you go in and review your cases. Well, one of my favorite things about this internship was being able to sit in even after I had staffed whatever case or cases I had, and get to hear the different DCPs talk about their cases and the things that they were doing to help their clients. I learned so much from that, and yeah. So next we're going to reflect on where I started in practicum and how I rated myself and how I rate myself now. Before I do that, I do want to say that some of them I did rate myself as a 5. However, I wouldn't say that I've mastered per se any of these. However, for my internship, I feel like I have mastered them. I don't feel like I will ever master any of these. I feel like there's always time for improvement. And I feel like that I'll always be improving in them. I don't feel like I'll ever fully master anything. So, like I said, some of them I did rate as a 5, but just in my internship kind of thing. So anyway, so demonstrate ethical and professional behaviors. At the beginning of my internship, I rated myself as a 4. I feel that I did that because I didn't have a lot of experience with it, and this time I'm going to rate myself as a 5. Engage diversity and difference in practice. I also rated myself as a 5. Before I rated myself as a 4, just because of practice. Advance human rights and social, economic, and environmental justice. I rated myself as a 5 before I rated myself as a 3. Engage in practice-informed research and research-informed practice. I rated myself as a 4 basically because of all the school stuff that we've had to do. And before I rated myself as a 1, that was before the classes. Engage in policy practice. I rated myself as a 4. That's because of Health Connect policy. Policy on a larger scale, I haven't really done anything with. I know the importance of it, but I am not wanting to do macro social work. So I'm not really sure what that looks like in a micro setting. I know knowing the policies is important, but I gave myself a 4 because of Health Connect policies and learning what they are and how they promote social justice. 6 is engage with individuals, families, groups, organizations, and communities. I gave myself a 5 because that's basically what I did. I had individual cases and also the groups, and then the communities and school organizations I also worked with. So 7, assess individual, family, group, organization, and community. I gave myself a 4 from a 3 from last time. I mean, anytime you're working with individuals or groups, you are assessing the needs of the people you're working with. So, I mean, I had a lot of practice with that. 8, intervene with individuals, families, groups, organizations, and communities. I gave myself a 4 from a 3 because I had a lot of practice with that and I'm a lot more comfortable with it. Number 9, evaluate practice with individuals, families, groups, organizations, and communities. I gave myself a 3. I gave myself a 5 from my 3. So I gave myself a 5 for this round. No, I didn't. Hold up. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I did give myself a 5 for the evaluate practice part. That is because of treatment team and being able to go in with our LCSW and our clinical supervisor just to talk about what we're doing, evaluate what we're doing, seeing if it's helping, if it's not, being able to change those things if needed. So yeah, I gave myself a 5. Sorry for the confusion. 10, appreciate the context of Christian higher education for social work education. I gave myself a 5. I appreciate it. I know how it connects. And I gave myself a 5 the last time as well. So overall, I would rate myself to be about a 4 or a 4.5 if I can do that. Like I said, I don't feel like I'll ever master any of it, but you know. Anyway. Discuss what remains for your professional growth as a practitioner. Definitely confidence, practice, skills in assessing, learning new techniques, not becoming comfortable, continuing to view myself as a student and as a learner. Discuss your strategy to remain a lifelong learner as a practitioner, attending workshops and lectures that pertain to whatever field I decide to go into within social work. Also keeping current on research and continuing to use supervision because that is one of what I've learned, one of the most important things that I can do to continue learning. Anyway, bye.